was thinking today about how the wind moves nature and how it is an animating principle to the life in nature. So yeah, just contemplating that and how spirit is animating us and moving us, and how can we let it and give it over and say, okay, use me as a channel for good and for beauty and truth and love. Bippity boppity boo. And I'm in the studio. There are these new worlds that I'm exploring, and I'm so excited to explore them and share them and really reignite this vision that I had to tell the story of what it really takes to bring an idea to life, from the seed to its fullest expression, its fullest bloom. And I want to share that through painting, through this gift that I've been given, what I've really devoted my life to. It seems. Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, I've devoted my life to painting and have learned so much about myself in the process. Art has been a way for me to explore who I am and get to know who I am better. I feel like I've been having moments where I have a tremendous amount of gratitude because we're here for such a brief moment in time, and we get the opportunity to create and to express ourselves and to imbue the world with our unique essence. And that to me is the greatest gift. I was sitting here painting the other day and I'm like imagining my inner child coming in and being like, oh my gosh, you created all this. And it's like there's this garden that's blooming in the studio, and it's from my imagination, and it just feels, yeah, there's just this sense of like, you know, like just bathing in the beauty of it all. Yeah, I'm so excited to get to share the insights and the lessons and everything about the creative process with you, authentically, radically speaking my truth about what it really takes to bring a painting to life and to devote myself fully to being an artist. Life has magically orchestrated everything perfectly, as it does, even the things that don't feel so much so. And I've been feeling all of it. This year has been like so much expansion, so much contraction, all of it at once. And I'm finally like, okay, I've surrendered to it. I accept exactly where I am. Where I am is perfect. I first want to talk about the past year and living in Hawaii and how that has really unlocked this expression in me that I've never explored before. And I'm so grateful for the weavings of life bringing me here and all that it's opened my eyes and my heart to seeing beyond what I simply see with my eyes. There's always this deeper level of seeing that we can cultivate within ourselves. And with that comes this whole world of possibility. You're gonna stand and you're gonna look at yourself. See yourself in the flower, because we are flowers, blooming on this beautiful planet, here to remind each other that we are infinite beauty, ever expanding into the light and into the love of all things. Anyways, I'm going to talk about the past 6 months. In the spring, I started these 3 paintings. From being so inspired by nature, and I feel like moving to Hawaii has activated me in this way where nature is all of a sudden calling me to explore her forms, to like really admire her beauty and cultivate an intimacy with her. And remember that we are nature. Our connection to nature is so sacred. It's in that connection that we can actually gain a deeper intimacy with ourselves. I had been working on some works on paper right when I got here, these studies on paper of the Hawaiian heart flower. And it was through those that I kind of started to realize, ooh, I can compose my own paintings and use my imagination and different colors and just play around and not necessarily just paint strictly from life, which I actually don't do that. Like I don't enjoy doing that. I always like to add an element of surrealism and take what is real and make it like fun and use my imagination to imbue it with spirit. The flowers have called me forward. Before I moved here, I was never painting flowers. I realized that, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I want to paint flowers and they're all around me, so I will never be short on inspiration. Back in the spring, I found some flowers and I took some photos of them, and I just was like, I gotta create some works on canvas. I started these 3 paintings and I just started with a rough sketch. I didn't really plan much. I just said, okay, this is what I'm doing. And then I said, all right, go. And I built layers upon layers. Now I did 3 at a time so that I could actually go, do 1 layer on one, go to the next one, let that dry, go to the next one, let that dry. So I would just play around, and it kept things fun because working on 3 different ones that are very different expressions, but they play off of each other. Now all of a sudden I've been building a body of work that is cohesive. And that was always my desire, is to have a collection of work that I could share. So this was kind of like my first collection in a while that I looked at and said, wow, yeah, you guys go together, like you're really beautiful, and I'm like really into it. These pieces were such an initiation in allowing myself to let go and what showing up in the seat of creation. And it's almost like surfing, like I'm a surfer too. And it's like when you're out there doing it, when I'm creating, I am improvising it through the moment. I'm saying, oh, this will be good. Oh, let me trust my intuition. And then all of a sudden, like forms will come out, and they'll come out of nowhere that it wasn't there before. And yeah, there's this sense of spontaneity that's in the process that actually I found to be so exhilarating and liberating. This was my past series, Visitations of the Beyond. Now I called it Visitations of the Beyond because in each of the paintings there's a moment where there's almost like this angelic being from the sky coming in and touching the flower. So it's this divine intervention of an angelic being that all of a sudden touches and merges with the flower. I think that's my way of saying through art, I am communicating with the divine. And in that, I have to be such an active listener, and I have to let go of my identity and let go of the fact that I'm even making anything. I have to be so present to allow this communion with spirit to take place. And that's where through the imagination, these divine elements come in, and they actually tell a story that's much greater. I'm so stoked because it's I always knew I was never gonna be a normal painter. I always knew that I wanted to create something beyond this world and bring it into this world and say, this is in this world, but not of this world. And so, yeah, it's just been so exciting to get to explore this new expression of myself. And, in each of these flowers, I feel like I am the flower and I am the landscape and I'm all of it. And I'm just imbuing myself into all of it because I feel like as artists, that's what we're here to do, is imbue our unique expression and essence into the work of art. And that is a process. The greatest thing that we can do as an artist is find our voice, and that takes experimentation, that takes exploration, So I think if you haven't found your voice yet, it's coming. You got to find what inspires you. And for me, it's the natural world right now. It's the flowers and the water and the mountains and the clouds, all of these beautiful elements that are a part of this beautiful world that we live in. Yeah, so I've been really loving what's coming out of me. So now we'll shift into these bigger pieces. So after doing those smaller pieces, I said, I gotta make these bigger. First of all, I love working big, and they're gonna have a more profound effect on the viewer when they're these life-size portals to this other world in my imagination, and I look at it and all of a sudden you're transported and you're where am I? I'm in this magical realm. And that's where I like to live, to be honest. It's that's how I kind of see the world. This world all around us is magic. I'm I have to share this, I have to go deeper into this, and I have to create these worlds. So here we are now about to embark on some big pieces, 48 by 60. And I'm working oil on linen now, so it's higher quality. I feel like with layering the oil paint, I've been actually just like really up leveling in that arena with having patience to do so and letting each layer dry and going on top of it and adding, like the layers add so much depth. And it's been really cool to watch myself get better at what I'm doing and also get better at improvising and in the moment just creating something from nothing. A week ago, I got these boards and I put the linen on top of it and just stapled it in the back so I could work because I can't put stuff on the walls. I did just like a wash of, one of them I did orange, like cadmium. This one I did cadmium red and like a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of yellow. And then the other one I did like a bright, like rose color, like a hot pink. And so that's kind of where I began with these pieces. And from there, I just allowed myself to just completely let go and not have a vision at all. There was a hibiscus that blossomed on the property that we lived on, and she's like gorgeous. I decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna paint you, I'm gonna paint her. And I didn't really have a plan. I knew she had to be in the water, like approaching this island. Like that's what kind of came to me, this vision. It wasn't very clear, but I knew she had to be in the water. So I just started painting. And then all of a sudden, all the forms are like emerging and solidifying and little things are popping up and there's little surprises that happen that again, it's not planned. So by not planning, it allows space for the spontaneity to add things that want to come through that I just have to be like, okay, I'm dancing with this. And the same with the other one. You know, the other one I actually did the underpainting in blue. I started it in burnt sienna, like outlining the forms, and then all of a sudden I was like, I gotta switch to blue, and then it came out, you know? I vaguely had this image come to me of like these two flowers dancing together and touching and embracing and like these flowers in love. But other than that, I kind of just literally won this one and didn't have a plan. And a lot of things, again, like a lot of things changed when I was in that process. Like I took a whole day of just doing the outlines of the forms and kind of blocking in shapes and things. You know, I switched the horizon. I put the horizon up a lot higher. So I added all these elements to it, and there's a lot of depth in it. The story that is being told here is, you know, there's this hibiscus and she's out at sea and she's approaching this island. Her guiding force is the moon. And I realized that too. I didn't plan that, and it kind of came out like I was surfing and I saw the moon, the half moon. So she's kind of holding on to this far off object of the moon that's in the sky, you know, it's very far off, but she's like using it as her guide. And then in the second piece that I'm doing, the moon has actually turned into a pearl. So there's something there because the pearl came up in one of the paintings I did in the Visitations of the Beyond, and the pearl emerged. And since the pearl emerged, I can't stop painting pearls, and I think there's something there for me in my psyche. And I learned a little bit about the pearl. I did my research. I was like, how is a pearl made? And you know, in the oyster, there's an irritant in the oyster. So the oyster secretes these layers and layers of substance to actually like eradicate the irritant, and in turn create so much beauty. So it's almost like this process that I'm undergoing through my oil painting of adding layers and layers of refining the beauty, and then all of a sudden the final painting is like this pearl that's just like a treasure. Like, whoa. It'll be really exciting to see what happens with these paintings, and I'm just like really falling deeper in love with my work, and that is the greatest gift. Falling in love with the work and being so in it and devoted to it, being in a state of flow and presence with it and giving it the presence that it needs to actually undergo the deep transformation that makes a work of art what it is. Yeah, the vision carrying the painting forward, holding the vision in our mind, but not getting too attached to the vision, because the less attached we are, the more space there is for the vision to actually get better. That's the gold. That's the pearl. That's the treasure. So yeah, I'm gonna share this whole journey of these paintings and give a little drop in to where I'm at in life and what's present in the creative process and what I've learned. And yeah, sharing this beautiful life of living on the most incredible land with an abundance of food, living by the ocean, the cleanest waters, surfing, having so much fun with my partner Patrick, and just living our best lives and loving each other. And it feels like that love is carrying into my work, and my work, the love for my work, is carrying into my partnership. Happy you know, the more love that we can give the things that are present in our lives, the greater they'll give to us. And the deeper sense of fulfillment we'll get from showing up and being in devotion to life itself and art and the beauty that wants to come through us. Because we get an opportunity to do this, and it's a brief opportunity, and so I just want to share the beauty, share the art, share the heart. Yeah, that's it. Yes, stay tuned, because we got the underpainting, we got the forms dialed in to these two paintings. Because the vision is so present and alive in my field, there's almost like this magnetism that is like drawing me to the work, to showing up to the work and giving it the love and the time it needs to be fully realized. And so, yeah, I'm so excited. And I'm so grateful for all of you out there who are receiving my voice and this story that is unfolding through me. So much love. Thank you for being here. I love you.